Everyone, Mr. Ricky B on the stage.
Hey, will this date me? What's up?
Yeah, right. Remember how big that was when it came out? Oh my God. After that Super Bowl, it was like every guy in the world was doing that.
Yeah, what's up?
That was a while ago too, yeah. I
That
don't
was a
remember
lot.
when, but that was a while.
That was back like when the frogs were singing,
Oh
talking.
my goodness, yeah, the Budweiser frogs, yeah. The What's Up was Budweiser also, right?
Yeah. They used to have some good commercials back in the day.
Yeah, back then they did. Not too much anymore.
No.
I don't know when that was. I think that was I don't remember.
Jeez, wasn't that the 80s?
No, it wasn't that long ago. It was
Oh,
late
no?
night. It was late 90s. I know that.
Okay.
Well, let's look at our trusty true friend here.
See, I always have this habit of derailing us.
Well, you're doing it earlier and earlier. That's the funny part.
I know, right?
We just said hello. What's up? Commercial campaign for Budweiser beer from 99 to 02.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. 99
That
to 02.
lasted a little while.
And that took over the Talking Frogs. Yeah.
Yep.
That's
the Clydesdales were always my favorite, though. I mean,
yeah, they come out every year. They used to be in they used to be at SeaWorld over here in Orlando.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when Anheuser-Busch used to own SeaWorld.
Oh, okay.
And they had a whole section of the Clydesdales. They had the big carriage, all that stuff over there. Yeah, that was years ago. That was like probably around that same time period, late 90s.
I always loved it when the Clydesdales played football, and then there was a little puppy, and
yeah, the puppy becomes the big Dalmatian by the end of the commercial.
Yeah. Boy, did I take us to a hard left turn, right?
I know, right? That's funny.
Oh,
well, I mean, it's the way it is. Like we discussed last time, it's not a. You don't go over somebody's house for dinner and chit chat and bring the topic. And I know it's a little different because it is a show, so you do have to have some form of a topic.
right.
But you can kind of wing it. I mean, Gina watched it. She said she liked it. A couple people said they liked it. When we had no topic, so to speak, the show about nothing.
I thought it went really well. I enjoyed it. I mean, it's like, hey, Deb, we're gonna go over to Tony and Gina's tonight. What should we study?
Right. What should we discuss?
Should we pull out the Encyclopedia Britannica and look under G?
You just kind of go with it, go with it.
Yeah.
That's all you can do.
We'll brush up on world history or something. Who knows?
Crazy. But earlier today on Instagram, Mike, our good buddy Mike Kunda over at Rocky Files, had posted something about Rambo. What if Rambo didn't stop at that town, or what if he wasn't hungry, or what if he didn't give I forget what the wording was on his post. And I replied to him, I'm like, well, that's like saying, well, what if Rocky just said no to Juergens and wasn't talked into it and said, I'm out of here. Obviously, that's a hard what if, because that's it. End of movie. Have a nice day.
There's no more.
It's a 15-minute film. How you doing?
Yeah.
But we did start talking about some other what ifs that could have really affected. Now I know Marvel has done the big on the series. What if? Sophia told me they do it. This is our what if without Marvel. This is just what if. So what if? Let's take one. You just pick anything that's major that happened in the Rocky saga. And I guess the biggest one, if you want to go in order, so to speak, I know Rocky was a love story, not a boxing film.
Right.
How different would it have been if he did win the decision against Apollo?
Ooh.
I mean, that last round, if it was another 3-4 seconds longer, Apollo wasn't standing up.
Oh, absolutely right.
I mean, he was taking some shots. He was going down. He was dead on the ropes.
Yes.
It could have gone both ways where he did both. He got his dignity. He won the title. He got Adrian. But how different would it have been of a road for that? Obviously, Apollo really would have wanted a rematch.
Oh, yeah. It would have been called a sham and a farce. And
I mean, they gave him a hard time as it was. Remember in Rocky II when he was reading the
The letters.
mail,
Yeah.
mail, I should say, not fan mail.
No,
How much
yeah.
did you get paid for carrying that bum and all that kind of stuff? So it would have been worse if he lost.
Oh, right. Right.
But I mean, it's hard to say. And then what other trickling events would have happened because of that is
Ooh.
really the bigger question. I mean, you obviously, as you know, you can't take one thing out and
Oh,
everything else
no.
stays the same. It's not the way it
No.
works.
It's like jumping in time and changing one event, you know.
Yeah.
It doesn't just stop at that one event, you know,
No.
like it just snowballs.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah. I mean,
snowballs.
you could even go the route, Miss Adrian here. What if she didn't wake up from the coma in 2 and she passed that early instead of passing before Balboa was
Oh,
out?
you could almost see at that point Rocky just falling apart.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
You
You
know,
could almost see Rocky going the route of Drago on how he went back to his country and he was a disaster. They hated him. He was just,
yeah,
an embarrassment, and he became nothing.
right.
So yeah, you could almost see Rocky just
Just
completely
just
crumbling.
falling apart, maybe falling into booze, going back to the docks, working for Gazzo again, you know.
Mhm. Yeah, I
Just
mean, because it wasn't all that long. Not to say that it wouldn't have hurt him, but I mean, it wasn't like in Balboa when he had already lost Adrian. We're talking a very long, 30 years.
right.
We're talking a long time. So a lot of life is developed in him. A lot of habits are developed in him. Where I don't think he would have gone that well. He didn't go that route when she
No.
did go.
But we
But
saw
yeah.
how devastated he was while she was in the coma for that short period of time.
Oh
You
yeah.
know,
I mean, he wasn't taught. Remember the church scene with Mickey? He didn't say one word.
no, that was powerful.
Not one
Powerful.
word. Mickey did all the talking. At the
Yep.
end, he said, "I'm going to sit here and blow with you," and then they both sat there in silence. So if she didn't wake up, oh my goodness. I mean, that would have
There,
been
yeah, there's no fight. I mean, he just, in my eyes, he goes downhill. You know, I
oh,
don't.
absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
then again, could he have found strength out of that and went to fight for her memory? You know, who knows?
Yeah.
Again, what if? Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. It's
yeah,
kind of it's a unique situation to think about the films, especially when you have such a large saga. Doing it to one movie is a little different on how, well, what if just take Jaws, for example, what if, they went out to a different island or something. It's just one condensed film, one condensed
mhm,
storyline. With this one being so many movies and, going across, if you're including Creed, you're going across 40 years.
right,
There's a lot of trickling that would happen if certain things did or did not happen.
sure,
It just really depends on how big of it, which one it is. I mean, we all know that there's the alternate ending of Rocky Five that Tommy winds up, knocking him out for good. That was never made.
right,
But again, what if it did happen? Obviously, Rocky ends there. You
sure,
don't have any Balboa. You definitely don't have any Creeds.
right, right. That would have been
You
a
know,
travesty.
yeah. I mean, it was a good thing they didn't do that. They had you could just bounce all around. I mean, the more I'm thinking about the films, like here's a good one. What if Rocky did not beat Drago?
Ooh,
What if Drago did kill Apollo? Obviously,
right.
that's the other big what if. But Drago did kill Apollo, and Rocky did. But what if he lost?
Oh boy.
I
Yeah.
mean, what?
Does he
That's
come
just
back to nothing like it still was going to happen? You know, with
yeah.
his manager and all that, and then he's really down and out. I
Oh,
mean, it was
I
bad
mean,
enough before.
yeah, I wouldn't even know. Like all the ones that we're talking about, what if this happened, what if that happened, all lead to the very bad ending.
Yes.
And it's obvious how good of a writer Sly is, because not that you can't have a bad ending. I mean, you could always have, of course, an ending that doesn't have to be raising of the belt and being on top.
Sure.
But it's incredible on how much it really does come all back to the part that's just not good. Like you said, that just wears him down as a man.
Oh, what a completely, I mean, if you took all the movies and they're so they're so intertwined the way that they were done,
Yeah.
That like we said, that one little thing, boy, if you sat down and just tried to like write it out, so this happened and then this happened and it just got worse. Does it become where he's just in the gutter, for lack of better words? He's worse off than Paulie is.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. Well, that Paul
Because
is another good.
all those things that could have happened that would have been bad, that's like demoralizing. I mean, talk about trying to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Oh my God. You would have been just pounding, talking about life hitting you hard.
Yeah, that's one of those that, man, I don't know. I mean, it's like you said, to come
That's
back
tough.
from it. Oof.
That's a tough comeback right there. But boy, what
Yeah.
a story it would have been.
Yeah. I mean, you would have had to almost make a redemption film where he does eventually do something about it, but would it have as much impact?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, avenging Apollo, fighting for the United States, basically against Russia,
Right.
and then you lose. I mean, look what we found out. What happened to Drago when Creed 2 was out, and Drago was explaining on how he lost everything.
Yeah, he was shunned.
He lost everything.
Yeah, his native land shunned him. They treated him like worse than dogs on the street. I believe was what he said.
The wife left him. I mean, it was just nothing, completely nothing. And then so Rocky would have came back to the United States.
No fanfare, no bands at the airport.
No,
maybe probably definitely no statue.
No, yeah. I mean, it would have been rough. That would have been that. But I don't know. I mean, you can't take one out without it affecting all of the others. That's how well they were written to intertwine with each other.
Right. If it went the other way, like we're saying, things would have gone, let's just say, in a parallel universe, if we're going to go Marvel or DC on this one.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange somehow shows up in Rocky Land. Oh shoot, what was my point now?
And it went the other way.
Yeah, if it went the other way, I really think that the heart and soul and the meat and the potatoes of Rocky is the fact that it could have been any one of us who could have fought that fight, and come that close to achieving your dream. Whereas how many people actually would have won? And then, but a lot of people, it's just the way he did it is perfect.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, you're
perfect.
You're so right, because you can sit here and second guess stuff all you want. Obviously, it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
And none of them. I mean, the only one I could see making a difference in the saga and to be able to continue with the saga, like you take out, like we just discussed, you take out Adrian dies in the coma. Obviously, a very different world for Rocky moving forward. What if Mickey didn't die? What if he didn't die when he died? Obviously, he was older, so it wasn't inevitable.
Right. Or under those circumstances.
Or exactly, or under those circumstances. How different would that have been?
Or what if Apollo was just paralyzed, rather, and that's been an ongoing discussion. And
you're right, and that's what I said earlier. That's the biggest what if that we have out there.
Yeah.
That could continue the saga, because you take out all the others, it just kind of almost stops it.
Right.
But what if Apollo didn't die, paralyzed? It had to be something bad enough to put Apollo out. It couldn't be he just lost and he accepted his age. He couldn't. That's not Apollo.
No.
So it had to be either like death, which he did, or like you said, paralyzed in a wheelchair. He can only move from the waist up. That could have still moved the story forward.
Yeah, because in my mind, just thinking about that, just at the second, I could actually see Mickey and Apollo, or Mickey and Rocky, pushing Apollo to be part of the, part of their group.
Mm-hmm.
If Mickey's still alive, and
Mm-hmm.
all this happened, I could see in my mind that happening. They're like trying to get Apollo to accept it. Come on, this is not the end. You can do
Mm-hmm.
more.
Yeah.
You have a lot to offer, type thing. And the story could proceed, like you're saying. The story could move on
Right.
with.
It absolutely would have moved forward because even if, all right, you take Rocky, Rocky 2, Rocky 3, all were exact. Nothing's changed.
Right.
Mickey dies, Apollo trains Rocky all the way up to 4. Apollo fights Drago, gets paralyzed. Now, he's not avenging the death, he's avenging you paralyzed my friend.
Yep.
So the fight could still move forward. He could still be, like you said, adding into that because Mickey's already gone. So you
Okay.
add into the fact of Duke and Rocky are a training montage with Apollo,
Okay. Okay.
almost like, come on, almost a mental training montage,
Yep.
to look, this isn't the end of the world. You could still make a difference, yada, yada. And then obviously taking on Drago and moving forward from there. So it
Sure.
would have been, but the biggest integral part of it would have been after 4, what would have happened with 5? Of course, what would have happened with Balboa? Would Apollo still be involved? And then, of course, the biggest one is Creed, because he would have still been alive. And how would that have affected the storyline for Creed and Creed
Okay.
2?
Right. Whoa.
So,
Boy, I have to think about that one for a minute.
mhm.
Well, let me jump past 5. We'll go to Creed. We'll jump past 5 Balboa. We'll go to Creed on that one, where you could still, I could see Creed, Adonis being in the juvenile detention center, or whatever it is. I could still see that happening
Mhm.
because maybe Apollo doesn't know.
I was going to say that would be the way you'd have to go with it. That maybe Apollo's not aware of it.
Yeah,
Because if you went that Apollo was aware and kind of shunned him,
they would turn him into a kind of a jerk.
yeah. I mean, that wasn't Apollo's, it was bad enough that Apollo did what he did,
Yeah.
in the fans' eyes, I guess you could say. But, you would have to almost go about the way that he wasn't aware, and
Right.
this kid comes up and he's claiming, you're my father. And I'm not your father, kid. I don't even know you. And then, of course, he
Right.
finds out and moves, and he's training him from the chair. He still
Yes.
has his arms, so he could do
Right.
it. And up here he still has, and
Yeah. And then
so
he
I mean,
gets Rocky involved. Hey,
yep,
Rock, come on. I got a kid I didn't know about.
yeah.
He's
See,
a
it definitely
boxer.
could have still continued the path of the story and the path of the saga
Right.
if he lived or died. But like I said, if he lived, he had to be detriment that he is
Oh,
paralyzed
absolutely. Absolutely.
because he wouldn't have just lost, been like, you know what, I'm too old for this. It's my time to move on. That's not him. That
No.
was why he didn't want Rocky to throw the towel. I mean,
Yep.
he wanted to go out the way he wanted to go out.
Yep. We're the Warriors.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, a lot of the other ones. So if you take out like that stuff, that's a big one there where it could still fit in and still fit into the storyline of he's trying to prove he's not a mistake, Adonis.
Right. Yep.
He's still
Yep.
doing that. He's still trying to gain, Apollo's love, I guess you could say, even though he
Sure.
didn't know him. And, there's a lot of things that or you could have it where um, Apollo's wife dies instead of her being around,
Okay.
have it where she dies. And then, I don't know, you could maybe get Adonis's mother there involved in somehow. There's a lot of different writing you could go with that.
That's wow. Now that's kind of that'd be kind of cool. I mean, kind of different. It was like Marianne dies,
Yeah.
and but Apollo's, like you say, Apollo's still around in the chair, and then the mistress
Yeah.
or Donnie's mom. I'll
Right.
just say that Donnie's mom shows up. Hi, remember me?
Yeah. Well, kind of.
Here's
Yeah. Because
your
yeah,
26-year-old
she
boy.
was, if Donnie's mom dies or is dead, and he's alone in the foster, and then it's almost an obligation for Apollo's wife. We gotta help him. He's claiming you're his father. Let's get a DNA, and if you are, we gotta take care of him.
Right.
That wouldn't be such of a strained thing. It would be more of a tougher right, I guess. I don't know, where she dies, the girlfriend or whatever, like you said, mistress. Hey, remember me? And he's like, oh my God, I haven't seen you in so long. Yeah, well, I didn't want to say anything to you because you had all your stuff going on. And then after Drago,
Yeah.
I figured you should know, you have a son, and then go from there. I mean,
That
that's
could have been a very interesting
yeah.
timeline, alternate universe type. Wow, that could have been a very interesting story.
Yeah, I mean, and again, it would almost take on a life of its own, like Creed did.
Yes.
It would have to be almost where it just deviated after Balboa. I mean, but how cool would it have been to see Apollo involved with Rocky still for Five and Balboa?
Right.
Like Balboa, it would have been really cool if you saw them, especially with him going through as much now. You figure 20 years after being paralyzed, and he's still involved, and he's still friends with Rocky and stuff. And then to see it would have been cool. It would have been really
I could
cool.
have so easily can you see Apollo being like a para Olympic athlete?
Yeah, yeah,
you know?
yeah. Oh yes, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, he would have been an elite para Olympic athlete.
Absolutely.
He he just would have kept on going. It's just too bad. And I remember I've heard I can't say specifically or for a fact that I heard it from Sly's, Instagram or video or whatever, that he wished, or maybe it was in one of his things, that one of his regrets was killing off Apollo. Do you
Yeah,
remember ever
yeah,
hearing that?
yeah. Oh
Okay.
yeah, he has mentioned that
Okay.
numerous times, but he even mentioned that before Creed.
Okay. Okay.
So he even said that he was one of, because when they had their little uh, tough little battle they had with each other when Balboa was coming out, Sly wanted to use the images from Rocky and Rocky 2, and Carl Weathers didn't give his permission. There was a whole bunch of little things going on where again, this is all what's written. Who knows what's true, what's happened behind closed doors, but supposedly Carl Weathers wanted X dollars. Sly was like, I don't have that much on this film. I just want to use images, because obviously you're dead.
Mhm.
You can't be in
I
it.
This is wow.
Yeah,
This is
and
like blowing my
supposedly
mind.
they
I've
kind of
never.
butted heads about it, and that's why if you watch Balboa, there's no pictures of Apollo, and
Wow.
there's nothing of Apollo, and obviously years later, Sly and Carl Weathers made up. It was, whether it was true what really happened or not, I don't know. I read that story a couple
Okay.
times, but
Jeez.
obviously they buried the hatchet because later on, obviously they used Apollo, they used his likeness, they used video
Sure.
of the fight,
Sure.
so it was things were done to mend that fence. Uh, but I don't know. It's you could take so many different characters, and what if this happened and what if that happened? I mean, well, look at Clubber. Okay, so you got Clubber who's a maniac. It's
Yeah.
like Mike Tyson times 10.
Right.
Uh, and like you said, so what if Mickey didn't die in that situation? Or what if Mickey wasn't giving him, you know, has-beens to carry his title?
Oh yeah.
What if he had some legit fights for his title and he was really working on it,
Hmm.
and he was gonna retire because he was taking a beating,
Right.
but Clubber wanted that shot? And what if Mickey didn't die? I mean, so how different would that have been? Would there have been two fights? Would Rocky would have, not been so down and out? There's so many different varieties of where you could go with that.
Wow. You're making my brain hurt, Tony.
I know. That's the thing with all the when you're saying, well, what if this happens? What if that happens? There's so much. And
yeah, it's not like a left or a right turn on this
no,
one.
there's not. Because if you mention one event, it trickles and dominoes into 30 events. And you don't even think about it sometimes. Like something as simple as Spider Rico. Okay. So, in that fight, you see that Spider Rico won, obviously. I mean, Rocky won, obviously.
Mm-hmm. But because Spider headbutted him and pissed him off.
Yeah, pissed him off. Okay, so but what if he didn't win? What if that opening fight Rocky lost? He got just pummeled, and Spider Rico is moving up. Or what if, or what if Apollo came down to the gym and that? Do you ever see the behind the deleted images where Apollo goes down to mix, and he's talking to the fighters there, and who do you call it's there with Rocky?
Stan Shaw.
Yeah, the guy that took his locker.
Dipper.
Yeah, and they like, so how could that have altered things? Did Apollo like what he saw in Dipper and wants to fight Dipper? I mean, I've seen pictures of
Rocky and Dipper outside the ring that was never in the movie. And I've even saw a picture of Rocky and Dipper where Rocky's punching Dipper in the stomach.
Yes, I saw that one too.
I never saw where Apollo was in mixed gym.
Yeah, there's a picture. Oh man, I'm gonna have to find it. I mean, I'm not gonna be able to find it on the fly like this while we're talking. Never mind. I actually did find it. I didn't think I'd find it that fast. This year, yeah, I'll send it over. Hopefully, I'll be able to get it on there in time. It won't take up too much time. Let's see. I'm trying to move fast, guys. This was unplanned. Sorry. But yes, all of that, what you just said is true. They, he was outside of the ring with Dipper, the one where he punches Dipper. And then there's a couple pictures. Now I just found one because I was, kind of scrambling a little bit. There was a couple pictures though of Apollo went down to Mighty Mix, and for whatever reason, now I don't know I never read about like how it was working and why, but for whatever reason, he was down there, and it's the same exact situation where here it is. So it didn't take as long as I thought. So there you go.
Oh my God.
So he's being interviewed right next to Rocky, and that's the exact scene when Dipper, matter of fact, I think Dipper might be behind him. I'm not sure.
Yes,
it looks like right between Rocky and Apollo, over Apollo's right shoulder. So, and somebody's interviewing Apollo, obviously. What's that about? What was going on there? What if he walked in and those two were going at it and they got it broken up because Apollo came down to the gym? Was he going down to the gym to pick the fighter? Was there not going to be?
That was my next question to you. Was this pre looking through the book?
In the books,
this is what I'm looking for. The Italian Stallion sounds like a monster movie. Was it pre that, right? Or
was it after that?
I've never seen that picture.
Or was it after that where Mickey's training Rocky, and they're already fighting? They already agreed to the fight, and is Apollo down there just doing a promo? I mean, I don't know.
That would probably make more sense. And then Dipper could have been like antagonizing Rocky, and Rocky turns around and belts him.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. It'd be very. But how different would it have been if that scene meant anything to that nature?
Right.
Like you said, that Apollo saw him Dipper hit him, and he was like, "Man, look at the size of this guy, and he's got a punch too. I want him. I mean, now Rocky's left in the dust, or does Rocky have to, show? Yeah, it should have been me, or I mean,
or is that why Rocky hit him, punched him in the stomach?
Right?
It's because maybe Apollo's looking at Dipper like, dude's big, and then Rocky's like, yo, check this out, wham.
Yeah. I mean, that might have been also right after when Mickey told him, his the locker situation.
Oh
Maybe that
yeah.
spoiled. Maybe that spilled over from that. Hey man, I really dig your locker.
Yeah.
And instead, maybe Rocky walking away. Maybe Rocky turned around, or maybe Rocky went in the gym and got his gym clothes on, his
Right.
sweats on, and came
Right.
back out, and then they started going at it.
Oh my, that is wild. It's completely blowing my mind. I mean, obviously you can't see everything. You don't know. I mean, I know I can't see everything, and I know I don't know everything about it, but something like that is like, how did I ever not see that picture? That's crazy.
I don't know. And it's the exact same time, because here's the picture with Rocky and Dipper like squaring up with each other. And it's the same exact situation. It's the same time. It's not, oh, okay, wait. Now I apologize to everybody at home, because you're going to have to deal with us doing these pictures right now, because I just found another one that
God.
I never saw, that this has a lot of what we're just discussing. Okay, let me select these.
Breaking
know,
news.
Right? Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. I know we should have been more prepared, but when we really kind of don't have a massive topic, we're kind of just out there.
Well, I mean,
So
things come
I
up,
appreciate the
I mean,
patience.
things happen, things come up. We start talking about something that we are not it wasn't planned, or we
Right.
were going to be like, okay, I know I'm going to show you this or whatever, we
Right.
get going and something like this comes up. You can't be prepared for the unknown, I guess.
No, you can't, because we started talking about it and we wouldn't have ever mentioned it, if we didn't start talking about it, so forth and so
Right.
on. So these pictures here that, we found, we're just like, oh yeah. Okay. So you got the picture of Dipper and Rocky squaring up. Now, obviously that is right at the same. Now here's the Apollo picture.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same time. Same time.
I've seen this
but
picture.
Now there's
I've never seen the other picture.
Now there's this.
That's crazy.
Okay?
I've never seen that picture
look
either.
To the far right. Look the far right. That's Apollo.
Oh yeah.
Who's Dipper going to hit?
Wow.
Where, I mean, there's his both his gloves. That's
right,
Jimmy.
Mike.
Mike, Jimmy? I mean, the Jimmy Gambino, but that's Mike.
Yeah.
Right there. So was he going after Apollo?
Gee,
Apollo's just standing there like, don't think about it, pal.
He's got a snarl on his face. Oh my God.
Sorry about that. I mean, I never saw that picture until right now. We were discussing it. I'm gonna have to post this and get Mike Kunda involved. I know he'll know.
What where did you find that picture? On Google or something?
On Google, this picture here that I looked for, I typed in Apollo Rocky Dipper on Google.
Oh.
And when I went back to see the picture, you know how they'll show a bunch of pictures from what you're searching?
Okay.
Well, a couple under it was that one. And that's why I went, oh my God, what is this? I never saw it before. And now there's the one below that is the one of Rocky punching Dipper.
Yes.
Okay, which I've seen that.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, this is a whole scene going on right here. Okay, and then here's a bigger picture of the one where Dipper was punching. It looks like he was going after to punch Apollo. It has to be, because Rocky's not even in the scene.
Oh my God.
I mean, right? Because if you look at that,
yeah.
No, I mean, it looks like Mike's going to stop him, say like, hey, let's not get stupid here.
Right.
But I mean, I know he's kind of far away from Apollo, but who else would he be squaring off?
Boy, wouldn't it be cool to see that old footage? Just to see how that whole thing progressed.
I wish. I mean, we've all heard it's been burned. It was in a fire at the studio. The studio went on fire. I mean, man, it would be something else if we could see the actual footage. Or if you couldn't even see the footage, I mean, Sly wrote it. I mean, so he knows what happens. It'd be cool to hear him even just say, well, yeah, this is what happened. This is what I wrote. We didn't use it, but this is what I did. Now, here's the other picture that's around the same time. And I never saw this before either. So this picture here, as you can see, look on the floor. That's Rocky. See Rocky's
What?
legs?
Oh yeah. Oh
So
my
maybe he was
God.
hitting Rocky, and Apollo. See, look at Apollo's turning around, looking at him.
Right.
That has to be Rocky's legs. It has the gray
Yeah.
sweatpants.
Yep.
So this one here, I guess he hit Rock. I don't see another body though.
Maybe Rocky was to the right of Mike or Jimmy Gambino there.
Yeah. Oh man, I don't know. But look at the legs on the ground. So he knocked somebody out. And that's why Apollo's just looking at him like, damn, boy, what you doing? That's crazy. We just discovered all this on the fly.
So
not planned at all.
no, but I mean, if
now
we
I
could
have so many more questions.
So wouldn't it be cool? You know what we should do is like try to glue this together and write our own scene.
Oh,
and
promise you. When we're done recording, I'm going to be on Google for about an hour. I'm going to be searching everywhere with Dipper, Apollo, Rocky, and I'm just going to every picture I could find. I'm going to.
We could come. What if we came up with like our own scenario of it using their pictures to try to?
You would. I mean, the pictures would tell the story. You know that old line, and it would if you get the pictures and you kind of, you say, okay, so here's. Rocky and like I said, here's Dipper, and you start piecing it all together. Like in here, Mickey's smiling, Rocky's smiling, Apollo's smiling. Now in here, Mickey's like, "Hey, knock it off," or something.
Yeah,
he's not smiling anymore. Neither's Rocky. So Dipper must have walked up. Dipper must have walked up right after Apollo started talking. So I'm guessing Apollo is there to show. Yeah, this is my, the Italian stallion. This is the guy I'm fighting, and blah, blah, blah. And he's smiling. Rocky's smiling. And then Dipper came up. Oh, you think you're Big Shot. Now you're fighting Apollo. I'll show you Big Shot. Because I could see him losing his temper more so and doing that than Rocky.
Okay.
So maybe he cheap shot at him, and that's why Rocky's on the ground. But now where's Mickey? Where'd Mick go?
That's what I was looking for. I was looking for Mickey. And then
I'm going to be on Google for a while.
So then the shot of Rocky punching, you had that picture up, punching Dipper in the stomach.
Mm-hmm.
Is it kind of say that? So Rocky jumps back up and belts Dipper.
It's possible. Yeah, that's possible. That's definitely possible.
Wow.
This is crazy. This was not planned at all. The funny part about this, we're talking about what if. Yeah, well, what if all this happened? How different would it have been?
Okay, so knowing they had a budget and they only had an amount of time to make the movie, and we know the whole backstory of it, but
right.
What do you think that whole scene might have taken? It was certainly shot and filmed, maybe 2-3 minutes.
See, that's the thing that I don't get. If you're going to do a scene, and like you just said, you shoot it and film it, an actual film, why didn't you use it? Like, what was the reason for not using that scene?
Right.
Why didn't he want? What was the reason? There had to be a reason.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, here's the one of
Rocky. Here's the one of Rocky hitting Apollo. I mean, hitting Dipper.
So maybe Rock jumps back up, belts him in the stomach, but I think it kind of coincides with, many years later where the fight between Rocky and Drago took place in the hospital after, the fight that was never made the movie. Right. It's kind of along the same pretenses as because we know that there's a battle between Rocky and Dipper with the locker and, the teasing and the name calling, whatever.
Yeah.
I think it would have added to the movie. I don't think it would have taken anything away from the movie. I thought it might have made it even that much more interesting,
It's crazy. I can't even believe we found these scenes though. I mean, I never ever saw them before. And it still amazes me to this day that these movies are, almost 50 years old, some of them. And there's scenes that I have I've never ever saw this scene, this picture. Never saw this picture.
No.
Now I have seen the other one with Apollo, this one.
I never saw that one either.
That's why we started talking about the conversation.
Right.
But It's amazing, amazing. So what if? What if? Well, geez.
Yeah, again, maybe Jimmy Hoffa is in the end zone of the Giant Stadium. Who knows?
What if?
What if?
Maybe it was Gazzo that put him there.
Could have been, you know.
Oh my
He
lord!
ticked him off. That's crazy. You found those pictures.
I can't believe I'm going to be posting these on the Round 14 Instagram page once we're done recording.
Yes,
I'll put them
please.
all together like in a little flip book, kind of like this. And just, I mean, I did this once before. Hopefully, Sly will answer again. I did that one other time with a statue. I said, wow, this is so cool. I would love to know about this. And he did reply. He said that he hired a sculptor in Santa Barbara or Santa Monica, California, for that in '79. So I'm going to put it on there and we'll see. Maybe he'll give us a little shout to say, yeah, that's a whole longer story than I could type. I don't know.
I know you got to put on there are definitely fans who would love to know the backstory of that and why it never made it. Oh my God. That's crazy.
I mean, because think about it. Think about it too. The whole sequence of events, not including this that we've never seen. So Rocky goes to get his locker. Dipper has his locker. He breaks the combo off, goes out there. Why'd you give away my locker? Dipper needed it. He's a contender. You're a tomato. Okay. And then that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
We don't see Dipper again. And Mickey, the next time he sees him, gives him the card to Juergens.
Yeah.
Somebody's Miles Juergens people around here probably want sparring partners.
Yeah.
So something like that, it almost doesn't even make sense that it was taken out. No offense, Sly. I'm not saying, obviously Rocky was very well done.
Sure.
But I mean, if you put it in there, it almost makes sense to bookend those sequences. Because something that made him that upset and that mad that he gave his locker away. I mean, and it bothered him too, because he went to Adrian's, I lost my locker today. Oh, you know what? It's all right though. I must have lost about, $20 over there in the last 6 years.
Sure.
And like he's talking about it because it's bothering him.
Sure. And you can see where Dipper is probably very jealous because, if you think about it, Apollo picked him and, Mickey was calling Dipper the contender. He's a contender, and now Apollo's showing up to see Rocky train or kind of promote the training of Rocky. And then Dipper comes in pissed off, jealous, and sucker punches or whatever. Rocky knocks him down. Rocky gets up, punches him back, and there's my version.
It sounds like you're dead on. I mean, because it sounds exactly what should have happened, in my opinion. Because, like you said, they're smiling here.
Yeah.
Apollo's saying, I know what you're thinking. This guy's a nobody, but he's tough. I don't know, whatever. Apollo's doing his showmanship. Mickey's smiling. And then, like you said, Dipper comes in. Oh, yeah, big shot against Apollo, blah, blah, blah. And then
pissed off and jealous.
He hits him. Apollo's sitting there looking at him. Obviously, that's his legs on the ground. Those are gray sweatpants.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like you said, gets up, boom. But then what? What's next?
Oh, yeah.
So we have homework to do.
So basically, that whole sequence would have taken place after Apollo picked his name out of the book.
I think so, and especially by what you just said. You just kind of lined it all up there about as perfect as I would think. I mean, it sounds like the exact sequence of events, and it definitely is after. I shouldn't say definitely. It definitely, in my opinion, is after Apollo picked him out of the book.
Yeah. That's crazy. Good find, Tony. Jeez. It's like finding the lost ark. Oh, am I buffering or is that you? I can't tell. Probably me. Frozen solid. Well, I'm not quite sure what happened here. Anyhow, I will continue with that thought was, who knows? It could have taken a completely different turn in the storyline. Crazy. But we will see. And Tony is gone. Was that you or me? I'm still here looking at myself. Not a pretty picture. I said I'm still on the studio site. That's crazy. Mm-hmm. I think so. Oh yeah. Sometimes sometimes you got to unplug your router, and then wait a minute, plug it back in for it to reset, reboot. Okay, I believe that's your router. No shit. Oh yeah. Let's see.
There we go.
There you go. Okay.
Okay. See what happens. So we'll have to just crop that out.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out somehow, but we'll make it happen. Okay, so let's start. Watch the count. Can you see the clock? The countdown clock? 48, 50, 51.
No, I don't see it.
You don't see it?
Let me exit full screen. No, I don't see it.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all right. I'll just sit there and be quiet. I'll give us a countdown. I'll go like this when we're ready to roll.
Okay.
Okay. After I point, give it 2 seconds.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So, after some technical difficulties, we are back. We have breaking news. We have uncovered the lost ark of Rocky. Thanks to Tony doing some digging.
Well, a little bit of digging. I mean, I dug up the pictures. You dug up the possible story. And like I said, this is a good one, man. This is
wow.
I can't see this not happening. So I'm going to have to go dig up some more on Google and definitely posting it on the Round 14 Instagram page. Yes. And maybe Sly will give us a little sneak peek of what his thoughts were or what his writing had or whatever, what the process was for it. And we'll see. So
that's exciting. I mean, it's almost kind of like, you go to the garage sale and you buy the record album or something like that, and you open it up and it's like, oh my God, it's autographed,
yeah, right,
not
right.
quite to that level, but
Yeah,
this is like,
it's a gold record.
yeah, this is like brand new news that
This is amazing.
it's been
I can't
around for
wait to
50
post it.
years.
Well, good stuff, my friend. Well, we have another part of this. We got part 2. We can't go too long on this episode, but we will be continuing the what if discussion. Yes. And we're also going to be talking about what if with these deleted scenes. We'll talk more about that scene as well, and maybe others. So sorry about the technical difficulty. Hope nobody waited too long, but hopefully we can do some movie magic and make you wait less.
Right.
But no, we appreciate it. We appreciate tuning in. Hopefully you got some ideas on this too. We always tell you guys, leave comments about anything that we're doing. Let us know what you think about the Dipper situation, what happened, what didn't happen.
Yeah, love to hear their opinion.
Absolutely.
Maybe somebody else has got a completely different take on it. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. So,
hey, Dipper, you stole my $20.
All right, my brother. I'll see you.
Got it. Take care now. Uh-oh. Hey there. Hi. I'm not, maybe not, but you were doing good. Yeah. No, you're on a private. Yeah, because you have your own password and all that good stuff.